Good day and good evening, and welcome back to Roulette Live with me, Chaiji, but you can just call me Kai. So, we still have the wheel. I've reloaded the wheel, and we're going to see if we can do, like, 10 to 15 duties. We have about 3 hours, something like that. And we'll see what we get. I wonder if we'll get more extremes again. Feels like recently it's gone completely crazy. Now, with that said, hey Teldemob, hey Ardell, hey Kaj, hey Procrastinauts, hey Lana, hey Saros, hey Rust, hey Naomi, hey Boobomet, hey Jen Monica, hey Cat, hey Beans, hey... Did I already say Rust? Hey again, Rust. Hey Kubomana, hey Philippe, hey Kados, hey Kay, and hey Zackboy. Hope you're all doing very well. And yeah, it is very hard. Although I hear that France and Germany have it worse. The background mob, yes. Woo! It's not, I don't even think it's that green, but apparently it's green enough. Hey, Crusher. You know, it is a shame that I don't have, like, a table, like, over here or something. So it's just, like... I just grab the magical floating cup off a green little table and then drink the nothing. Hey, Pike! And Stille! Hope you're doing well. Drink the void. I'm glad to hear that, Pike. That's awesome! And Mordre, and Mordremoth, and Sally. An elf puddle. Oh, man. Right then. So, let's see here. Spin each one, so we have a DPS and a tank and a healer. You know what? We basically never get to the healer, so maybe we'll go DPS, healer, tank tonight. For the priority list. With Bard for the DPS. A Faith. Faith. With White Mage for the healers. And Warrior for the tanks. Warrior for the tanks. Would be funny if you got. I just randomly have a secret goal base. Sensing Good King Mugglebog's presence. Oh boy. I'll queue when it says 28. I can set it up so that I can. There we go. Thank you for celebrating 20 months as part of the Cult of the Pink Faith. Thank you so much for the support. Hey! Oh, that was pretty nice. We're getting somewhere! Oh, it's an 8-man. You might actually be onto something about that, Moggle Mog. Dun dun dun. And we have... Phantom Train. And Ilana's here. And Rust is here. He's a Metricon. That's true, Face. There's a lot of guides. People sometimes ask me what, like, since Evercold had been announced, people have asked me, like, what are you gonna are you gonna make guides for Evercold Evolved mode? And the answer is probably. The only thing that is uncertain is whether I'll make, you know, 44 guides. Like, I don't know for sure if there's enough to work with to have remakes of Reborn guides. I might also, you know, make shorter Reborn guides if it's like, yeah, but like it makes no sense to play the jobs below level like 100 or something. I don't know. That's the part that is whoa, that is uncertain. But I'm making guides. Don't you worry. Knees up. Oh boy. Lizard under the hot lamp. Run. I missed my song refresh. Hey Violet and Ilya. The lamp is too hot. Oh, the question is not whether jobs will have changed enough to justify a new guide. The thing that is complicated, Philippe, is that we know that they're gonna design the jobs to play a lot better at low level. Like, you'll have like core tools super early. Let's say that the evolved mode designs are so good that the best advice you can give a new player when picking up the game is like switch to evolved mode immediately. Like, if it doesn't do it automatically, the best advice you can give is just switch to evolved mode. And then there isn't really any point in me going out of my way to make guides for the reborn mode version of the leveling experience. You know? That's the idea. That's the thing that I'm like, I don't know if there's actually any point in making all of it. Like basically, if the best advice I can give at the start of a reborn mode leveling guide is, okay, so what you do is you open your menu and switch to evolved mode, then I'm not gonna make a reborn mode guide. Insano! Oh boy. Well, you got the mount. That's nice. That's a lot of runs. Might be a handy. It's a pretty funny short. Here, why is your guide for reborn mode job so short? Like the leveling guides? What's going on there? Well, you should watch them. Check them out. That's me going to the most effective way. Like, here's my guide for Archer and Bard. From level 1 to 110. So what you do... is you open this menu and then you click switch to evolved mode. That's my guide. Thank you for your time. Now, check the related video down below for the evolved mode guide. It's a bit longer. Stay offbeat. And I missed. Surely you can stretch it out to 20 minutes. I feel like it would. I would have to talk really slowly. Yeah, that's the thing that is uncertain. There's not really anything uncertain about whether a guide will be had. It's whether there's gonna be 2 per job. Phantom Train is 05, right? Imagine if both Evolved and Reborn leveling guides were just swapped. Now you're cooking with gas. Here's my Reborn mode guide. So what you do is you switch to Evolved mode. And here's my Evolved mode guide. Switch to Reborn. Anyway, good luck. Insane says, just do the normal YouTuber thing. I switched to Evolved mode at this, and you won't believe what happened next. A whole hotbar disappeared! Was it 8 or 10 minutes, the minimum video length to be monetized? Was that changed? Any video is monetized if you want it to be. However, you need your video to be at least 8 minutes for there to be ads in the middle of the video. The way I used Reborn mode will surprise you. You sure the thumbnail has at least 3 red arrows pointing to something mundane circled? April Salty, hope you're doing well. For some reason when I try to start 14 the loading screen crashes. Well, starting point. If you have mods, try and start the game without them. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. If that's already tried, you may... did you get kicked... If you were kicked out, you have not played in years, did you just reinstall the game? Or do you have... It is surprising that that would happen. Options you can try is repair function on the game. Clean reinstall of the game again. If you just installed it, I don't know if that will do anything. Try and update your graphics driver. Try and see if you can update other drivers. If it persists, you may need to try and reinstall your graphics driver. After that, my skill with PC start to wear thin. It can also be, as Boomermet said, it could also be that you did update your graphics driver and that's causing issues. Like, it's really difficult to find the answer. Sounds like the new GPU driver might cause problems, so maybe take a slightly older version. Weird. I mean, there's a lot of things. I've said before that if you have PC issues, one of the first things that will break is Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, exactly, Kay. That's the classic. Oh, your game is crashing? Well, you should try and update your graphics driver. Oh, that's why it's crashing? Well, you probably shouldn't have updated your graphics driver. Oh, you just did update it. You should probably unupdate it. That's the classic. It's the classic. But I can say for certain that Final Fantasy XIV is a surprisingly fragile game. Red Mage! Boink! I will queue when it says 07. Is it always graphics drivers? I don't know. I'll see you guys all night. Hey, Necrofits, thank you so much. And Zeridia. Why do I hear climbing in the distance? Yeah. Yeah. When I climb. And we have... You know, I was just about to guess that it was gonna be Rathalos. But, yeah, if you are enjoying the stream, it always helps with a like over on the YouTube side of things. So thank you so much in advance for that. You know, algorithms. Algorithms. We have a Rust. Fantastic. We have a neighborhood healer.
You've come.
They heal neighborhoods.
I'll begin by wearing you down.
It feels like it's been so long since I've done a dungeon as Red Mage at this high level that I wasn't even entirely sure what I was supposed to do when the pull started. Like, oh yeah, I do have instant cast. Let's do that.
I've created new endless for you. Not all are warriors, but they will follow orders. Kill and survive and so forth. Here, I shall prepare the stage for battle.
Oh, I just remembered something. Well, you see, I was at a wedding yesterday. Looks funnier when you blast the screen with spell effects if you can see everyone's stuff. Wow, it's a lot more. You can see a lot more now. Why did I not notice that on Phantom Train?
Memories of a physician. One who saves lives should be reluctant
Oh, whoops.
to die.
I didn't mean to do that. Hey, Ridleyan. Hope you're doing well. Bleh. Explosions! More explosions! That's and also Kylan. Hope you're doing well. That's a good point, Sally. That is a good point. It a lot of the time with wall bosses, a lot of the damage or a lot of the attacks get flung so far out in the distance that you don't really notice. I thought I was actually looking for where everyone else was going, and then I realized people were congregating on me. Like, oh yeah, the knockback. Well.
Oh well.
Overburdened
the system. No matter. It served its purpose.
And then became a problem in Black Cat. My first run-in with a fight where I had to turn off the spell effects of other party members was back in Shadowbringers, when I got into Savage raiding in the second raid tier. We beat Ramu, so E5. And then we went to do Shiva on Real. I don't know why I was single targeting. I have no idea what I was doing there. I think the heat is getting to me, guys.
Next, we visit a
But Shiva on Real caused problems because I could not see what weapon she was bringing out. I straight up could not see it. An eater it? Pretty much, Cat. Just for the lols and lamaus.
They shall deal appropriately with criminals. Your sentence is death. How long can you defy it? Criminals may run, but they cannot escape.
Uh-oh. Can I finish my combo, you think? I'm glad the paladin noticed that I was having trouble too. Getting so distracted by the healer having so much trouble. I'm gonna help over here, I think.
Beginning to tire? Good. I bid you continue on.
Oh boy. Did they exclusively die to Doom? Was that what was happening? They said they didn't notice that they had Doom. I only saw the last one. I'm pretty confident based on how early they died at the start that the first death was Doom. But I don't know if the second death was Doom. Hey, Blue Polar Bear. Sort of. The healer died. Was it 3 or 4 times? I'm not even sure. The last 2 were... Right. I can at least say from what I could see, right at the end there, they were like using every single cooldown they had as if they were like, oh, I'm gonna get hit by that thing that kills me. And then they died from the Doom again.
The enemy is at the gate.
I'll say...
To arms, good soldiers, protect
King
your
Forever.
kingdom.
When is the Hector guide for healer ad coming? Oh man. Oh, right. I should probably been the one to limit break. Sorry about that. Exodi. Doesn't the Doom on this boss put a big text pop up about the debuff? Does it? I haven't done this as healer enough, and I usually just see the Doom debuff. I'll take your word for it. It happens. Hey Jason, hope you're doing well. And welcome to the game, and thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. Lizard, 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 lizard. We have double lizard. It's a double lizard. We have triple lizard, actually.
An amalgam of memories. Let us see how it fares. It is the midst of the storm surge.
Hey, Kraken Mo!
Countless lives are lost in the senseless conflict.
Does the game teach you what an interruptible cast bar looks like? It doesn't teach you, no.
And intensity.
The reason, I think, is because the concept of interrupts and actions having a visible tell that they're interruptible was added in Shadowbringers. So... technically, the closest you get to a quote-unquote tutorial on that is that if you're like in the end game in Shadowbringers, you will see the random toad mobs in Don't Meg, use Caetsu and be like, oh, why is that blinking? Weird. That's your tutorial, quote unquote. ALTC! Apparently the line over debuffs that tell you that, oh, that's that's removable was added, I think, in Stormblood or Heaven's Fall, which is also the reason why the guild test specifically meant to teach you how removing debuffs with Ishuna works. Doesn't mention that. It's because, well, it didn't exist. Oh, I should not have used Refulgence yet. Oops.
Death is everywhere, pillaging the promise of the future.
I'm just blasting. Oh boy. Better finish blasting before I have to erase again. Oh boy, here I go with a raisin again. Something. Someone says that's super cursed. You know, the extra cursed is that the duty that is the tutorial on debuffs exclusively has removable debuffs. So you don't learn that there is a difference. Like so you will just learn that, oh, I can just remove anything. It also has a huge amount of debuffs that don't really do anything or doesn't matter, or that you can't do anything about. Like, notably, all those poison debuffs they throw around doesn't matter, and if you're silenced, there's nothing you can do anyway. LTC, the verse stands for vermilion, which is a red color. Well, that certainly made things interesting. The trace? I think the unfortunate reality is that I don't understand, because green mage is extremely specific. Like, there's not a lot of games with a green mage. I don't know the reference. Vert is green in French. Oh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I see that. Thank you. Well, maybe what you need is like a plug-on, you know, funny thing that turns the animation for the thunder into like you just throwing a green dog at the enemy, because then it could be Vert Hund there. Hund is a Danish word for dog. Okay, when it says 21. Exactly, the Werthun. The Werthun. Same origin as Hound, I suppose? Probably. But can I pet the dog? You can pet the dog. As you attach your focus crystal to your rapier, you utter your empowered chant and summon a dachshund. That's a sausage dog, right? Not those. What do you mean, LTC? This channel and these streams are basically made to go, let's talk about something completely unrelated. Insano says, I actually had no idea what Interject did until I had 2 tanks max level Shadowbringers. I eventually asked my FC, what does Interject even do? It always misses. Oof. Oof. They're like, how do we explain this without making him feel bad? Give it an extra minute, because we are number 1 in the queue. Hey, Master! Are you really streaming if the conversation doesn't get derailed? Yeah, exactly. They hunt badgers. It's funny, I'm pretty sure that dachshund are smaller than badgers. Was that the point? Hey, dogs! Obey we will, and thank you. And it's true, Insano. The funniest bit is, you know how interrupts used to work? Before Shadowbringers, Interject just applied a 1-second silence. And there was no sign that something was like a spell so that silence would do anything. And you always remember back then you had roll action slots. So you were picking this option instead of something more useful.
This will be a murder.
And we have Crusher. We have a Crusher. To me, my servants! To me, my knights! Hey, Tony Murphy! Hope you're doing well.
I will crush you.
I will crush you! Uh-oh.
Yes, that will be your punishment.
That will be your punishment. Suffer, suffer, suffer.
Receive of me my blessing
And rise higher. Higher. Oh, higher. We have some very good burst AoE damage. Oh, golly! Why are you cursing? Are you not a holy man?
What is this?
Hey, Alubozi! And I want to tank because I didn't know what was interruptible or not. Well, to be fair, the good news is that back then there was not that many things you had to interrupt, I think. Savarian! I'm going to open with Dot on Sam. Well,
I see.
the less you care about, the less you have to worry about buff optimization, the more you might have to care about making the most of things that are like personal cooldowns, and a Dot is sort of like a pseudo cooldown. It doesn't cost me much. But I do get what you mean. I actually went into the pool like, oh yeah, I do have everything, right. I'm so used to going into these duties and being like at a level where I can't do anything fun. Just trying to get the tethered at part correct. Well, I do know that we at least have 2 DPS that know what to do. But sometimes that isn't enough. Ooh, what kind of soup? Uh-oh. Sprout healer dead. I'm here trying really hard to hold some resource to burst those ads a little bit better, and this man is just not doing it. The moment I'm like, okay, well, screw it then. That's when that ad phase starts. Oh, whoops.
Your reckoning comes.
Wow.
I shall excite the sin of your existence.
I kind of didn't time that right.
Know your place.
What if you could translate tic-tac-toe into a combat encounter? I think WoW did that for their most recent raids here. I'm pretty sure I heard something like that. That there's like a whole thing with like a mechanical system that is like you're basically playing tic-tac-toe.
Atone with your life.
I don't think there's any point. You know what? I was about to go on an explanation about there wasn't a point to use Higanbana, and then I realized that there was like 8 seconds left of combat. And like, oh, you think? Wow. You really got us there, Kai. Incredible deduction, man. Hey, make some time! Are we getting Pixomancer? Oh boy, Pixomancer! Time to paint! I'll queue when it says 55. Laser, 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 laser. Eight man. Maybe the tank's AFK. Hey, Griffin! Ramu! Ah! Leave me alone! Why does this keep happening? Oh. Here we go, here we go, here we go again. It's normal. But if it hadn't been, fortunate that we have both Ilana and Crusher here. Hey Alice! Why do you like lizards so much? I just think you're cute. That's it. That's it, really. I don't like lizards IRL. You know, Ilana, if they don't go for it, you might just pull with that. Oh, someone actually... You did it! Fantastic.
Have you the strength of will to alter man's fate?
I'm too powerful. That tank had stance on.
A change of arms. May the test continue. We're near or far.
That's an early snapshot. But okay. We're near or far. Oh. That was a... Now this? Flattened tank? Okay.
Light unyielding.
The trick is that 2 of the 3 weapons can be dodged by going out to an intercardinal or relative intercardinal to the boss.
By blade.
By blade! And now this!
We're near or far.
Oh boy. One of the tanks is not having a good time. Sword!
By blade.
Wham! I'll say that tank buster killing was like, you know, that it... You did have like 4 vuln stacks. It's like, that was kind of expected. I don't know what to tell you. We do miracles, but not that level of miracles. There!
The song of creation's end.
You know, I was just about to use Smudge, and then I realized that I don't think I can actually aim that very well. So, you know, I'm just gonna walk.
The sorrow at hope's demise. Think.
Think!
Find your
Nate
way
Tinkle.
in the darkness.
How many mentors are we at now? How many mentors are in the party?
Follow your light.
Hey, lollipop!
Or fly, my children. and
Here.
Never look back.
Feel. Fish. Hey, Guzzle! How many roulettes are you at? This is the 4th one.
Then you are resolved. But this test is far from over. By crystal's light.
Yeah.
Where near or far.
Yeah. Just barely finished my Pixelmancer garden, so I could leave. Oof.
Where high or low.
Where high or low? Whoa. Oh, we have a healer dead! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, 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 no!
Light unyielding.
Oh. Light unyielding!
Refulgence eternal.
This kind of effect is you know, I've noticed that kind of effect is like, it's almost like at least a once per expansion. We had it on Ruby Weapon, and we had it on I think it's on EX7. Light unyielding.
By blade.
By blade. By blade. Yeah, exactly, Zarf.
Succumb not to fear.
It's on P9. Yeah, it's also on P9. That's correct. It is one of those that is like, just, you know, it's a pretty interesting pattern. It kind of stands out. Oh boy. You know, this isn't very bad. There was quite a long while ago, I remember having a run where this part of the fight dragged on for so long that we saw those waves repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat.
Where near or far.
We're near or far. And now, this. one of the best quotes in the whole game. For a mechanic? Just, and now, I don't know, this, I guess. Hey, Flems. I don't usually get Mother Crystal, so I'm really... The martial man have smudged to bear him to paradise. Henceforth, he shall walk. Hey, Listalia. Apparently, I was blissfully unaware of the outrage surrounding abbreviating the Arcadian rates as M number. I feel like the fact that it ended up being M number anyway tells me that the ones that were, like, outraged about it weren't that many. Yeah, and now, a word from our sponsor. This. The outrage, Flems, was basically that right when the raid tier came out, people were extremely... Like, when we could just see this, right? Just this. Only the first four. People were very quick to point out that it would be very unwise to use M. Because it's gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, M, 1, 2, 3, 4, M, 1, 2, 3, 4. We know it will. So maybe plan ahead. Call it R for round, or R in, you know, because the second letter in Arcadian is R, and, you know, the first letter A is already taken. Like, there are options. It could have been W, actually. But wait. And it would also have been an upside down M. That could also work. And could also stand for win. But M stood despite that. Ishak and Bread Bean Queen. Anyway, I'll be right back, and then we keep going. In the meantime, sanity restored. Twice. Now, acrobatic manatee restored. Good luck, Zaf. Emily. Either it says soon we're gonna be naming Kefka Ultimate, so that will be fun. Let it be known that it has already been named, and some people say DRU, I think? No, wait, DMU. And some say you're mad. And I know for a fact that the casting crew for the World First race all think that you mad is way funnier. So... it's gonna be a whole race with people calling it you mad. It's gonna be really funny, really difficult to fight that. Make drill stops. I'm just saying it was sold to us as a slightly meta raid. It makes sense that even the abbreviation is a little bit meta. I was like, Uber Penguin. Trying to fight it is a losing battle because you just get hit with the you mad bro anyway. Yeah, you probably are. Emily says after raids like Uwu, adding you mad just seems appropriate. I will say in fairness that Uwu stands for Ultima Weapon Ultimate. And while the actual ultimate is named the Weapons Refrain, so, you know, WRU would have been more accurate. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. This is Ultima Weapon Extreme. Right? It's not Ultima's Bane. It is Ultimate Weapon Extreme. But it kind of makes sense that it became Ultimate Weapon Ultimate. But it probably helped that the abbreviation is funny. Port to the Commanders isn't ever called that? No. Well, actually, I usually refer to it as Port to the Commander, but yeah, people do call that Ultimate Weapon. And yeah, that is true that most refer to trials by their mob name or boss name. And that's also correct, Bread Bean Queen. It's pretty funny how whether the U for ultimate is in the name is sort of something that we kind of just make up as we go. Like, if we look at the shorthands, we have UCOP, no ultimate in the name. Uwu, suddenly the ultimate is in the name. T. Why is it called T? Did we just, like, here and here we decided that the didn't count, but now it does, but the ultimate doesn't. And here it's DSR. The S here suddenly counts? Okay. And then we have top. And then we have FRU. Like, I'm just saying, our ability, like, our naming conventions for ultimates are so inconsistent that if people are mad that people call it you mad, I mean, just add it to the list of ways we name things. Anyway, I will queue when it says 33. People argued for DRU instead of DSR, but at this point it's cooked. Yeah. What? Was there something funny with DSR? Or was the reason just that people felt that DSR made more sense? Isn't being inconsistent consistent to the game? You know, that is actually an excellent point, Philippe. You're right. Yeah. Hey, Matthew. Are you mad, bro? The fun shorthands will often beat out the accurate ones. Part of it is also that because they're funny, you'll probably be better at remembering them. Because you'll remember the funny thing instead of being like, ah, well, what was the name? Looks like we have Rust and Crusher again. And our Dark Knight knows me. Elfie.
What inspiration will you give me, I wonder?
Welcome to Sugar Riot's Gallery of Glamours!
I should have been slower there. My bad.
Perhaps I'll draw this.
And with a flourish, Sugar Riot brings her work to life.
Tingle says, the amount of times I've seen people mix up DRS and DSR. Ah, yeah, I could see that problem. For those confused, DRS is Delubrum Reginae Savage.
Will the challenger be all right?
And then she make arrow. And then she go blam.
What's your favorite color?
Pig. And then this.
An image comes to me. I hope you like it hot and sandy.
Goodness, the rain has become a desert.
How about a little more sunshine?
That moment when Luxalaris does nothing because no one needed healing in the full 30 seconds. Hey Bungie, hope you're doing well. This is Final Fantasy XIV.
Watch out! It's a veritable storm of needles.
Uh-oh. Bad planning.
Oh, that was too much for the challenger.
There's something missing. Oh, I know.
Sugar Riot here like, how about a little more sunshine? Actually, Sugar Riot, maybe not. Maybe not right now. I feel like a lot of us here have gotten plenty of sunshine the past few days. A little more sunshine in the middle of a heat wave? Can we switch to the river phase?
What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
When you can't decide on one thing.
When you can't decide on one thing, then you combine bombs with wings and bombs without wings. Wow. Amazing. Very creative. Hey, humble student. That struck square. Rain.
What do you
She's just
say to
winging it the best she
shows?
can. You know, that is fair. You know, it's only fair. I'm also only grilling her because I'm looking for funny quips to say and I can't come up with anything better. Hey, Harley Quinn.
A crystal clear river. How charming.
How charming. The taste of thunder. Kaboom! Oh boy.
This is no good. It needs a touch of thunder.
If you can't decide on one thing, shows arrows from one side, bombs with wings from another side, bombs without wings from a third side. A Yan randomly drops out of the sky.
A thunderstorm has turned the waters muddy. How frightening.
Lightning strikes from the heavens.
I have it.
And then a fireball
Some
just
destruction
explodes
to
somewhere.
facilitate
Just out of nowhere. Just... Well, that would certainly be not deciding on one thing.
A massive raging storm. I hope you brought your parasols.
A massive raging storm. Whoops.
It's all over. Until next time.
Can I keep the Yan at least? It's raining Yan. Does Medem not react to LB 1 or 2? I don't think he does, no. A massive raging storm! Welcome to Lavender Bets! I will queue when it says 44. 44. 44. And there. You're right, asking what's your favorite color and then proceeding to only give blue and orange as options. I mean, maybe her favorite colors are blue and orange, and that's what, like, she's like, what's your favorite color? These are mine. Maybe that's it. By the way, if you are enjoying the stream, it does help a lot with the like over on the YouTube side of things. You know, algorithms. Algorithms. Algorithms, algorithms, algorithms. One day, things just work. But until then, welcome to the internet. The line makes more sense in Savage where you do actually get to choose. Well, do you actually get to choose? Because she kind of puts debuffs on you that makes it so that you have to choose a specific one. What's your favorite color? It better be orange or you die. Wow. Well, in that case, I guess it's orange. Hey, like, God, what's your favorite color besides these? Ooh. Baelza's Wall. Wow. It's a wall. Sloppy. Thank you, Rust. Sloppy. It's a very sloppy man. And we gotta fight the sloppy man. That's a lot of mobs. That's a lot of mobs. It's not optimal, but I feel like I won't have an opportunity if I wait. Says I miss when the archers dots here just killed players. You know what's really funny is that they have actually, the dot they use appear to be the same, like at least be sourced from the same place as players' dots, because the duration on the dots have been increased when they increase the dots on the bar dot. Oh, whoops. Red Bean Queen says, watching that pack dive, clearly never had good DPS in this dungeon. Oh. Oof. Oh. It could also be that we just had have an exceptional party. Woo. And isn't that a more positive possibility? I sometimes see that, Cyrilia. I sometimes see that. Actually, the cursed truth is that the most reliable time that I see that, this situation where if I'm not the healer, the damage feels kind of low, is in extremes in Mental Roulette. There's just no way to win. You go tank. Oh, the healers are not attacking. Also, you have an ice mage. You go healer. The tanks don't. The tanks hardly know how to play the game, but you'll make do, right? It'll be fine, surely. You go DPS. Well, that is of course an exaggeration, and there is definitely bias there. The comedy is that it happens sometimes, and by not being a role, you're leaving the door open to, like, for something bad to happen in a role you're not. That's basically how it goes. That is the important part to keep in mind, is that's generally what actually happens, is that by being the role, you're removing the possibility for someone to be stupid or bad in that role. Aha! One last stun, just in time. That's also true. It's you could yourself be bad. But you see, that's the kicker, is like this actually like circles back to advice for PvP games as well, is that if you're having trouble and every single like match you play, your party sucks, it's a possibility that every single party you're getting is bad, like every team you get is bad, but it is worth remembering that you're the only like consistent player in every one of those parties, and if you suck, it's not helping. So many packs, so many packs, so many packs, one at a time. Hey Rio! Hope we will. We've been doing quite well. We haven't gotten any extremes, so we've gotten some fun duties. Exactly, Saros. But even in the context of like extreme trials, like hey, Zero Sugar. I don't think that's what we said. But even if it happens to be the case that like you're the weak point in a party in those extreme trial situations and such, I mean, oh boy, you can still make it cool again by just not being a jerk about it. Like, that already helps a lot. Like, that's a pretty key example, is that over the course of like 2 weeks, I have done Ramuh Extreme with a code tank that didn't quite seem to get it, but they were trying. So we just went with it, and I like calmly explained what went wrong and what to do different. And then we had the one from yesterday, right? Similarly, I had in the same day, one run of Ifrit Extreme with a healer who didn't position correctly for Searing Winds, and they kept insisting that they were positioning correctly while they weren't. That annoyed me a lot. Later, I had a healer who seemed uncertain, but they said they felt like they knew what they were doing. And they weren't perfect, but they were trying, and they were not being a jerk about it. So we didn't get on their case for it. Oh yeah, the annoying guy was also a white mage, yeah. But the one that was actually nice, or trying their best, I believe, was also a white mage. That is correct, Rain. Master, the way that the armory bonus works is that if you play a job that is lower level than your highest level, you get a 100% XP bonus. Unless it's in the current expansion levels, in which case it's 50%. But it's very strictly... It has to be lower level than your highest. If it's not lower, then you get nothing. Which is why, like, for instance, if you're, like, leveling a bunch of jobs simultaneously, it's important that you keep one ahead. If you, like, leapfrog them, you're wasting a huge amount of experience. Say Shark and Frosty Trout. Does that stack with any preferred server bonus? Yes. The road to something bonus, I believe, just doubles all XP. You get more XP for being max level and leveling alts? No. You get more XP for on jobs that are lower level than your highest level job. So if you have a level 90 job, then your level 1 to 89 jobs get more XP. If you have a level 95 job, all the ones from level 94 and down get more XP. So you just have to be sure that you don't, like, switch your main and highest level job over and over again. Then you'd be wasting XP. I'll say you missed too.
Yeah.
And zip zap.
How'd you like these?
I don't know. I don't want to look at it. How'd you like these? Ugh.
Sloppy.
To your question, Frosty Trout, I assume that you're a new player. My advice is genuinely just play the job you want. If you want to optimize XP, I told you what to do. But, like, if you just hit level 52 and you unlock some level 50 exclusive jobs, then, like, you couldn't possibly have gotten them much sooner, could you? So if you try them and go, I feel way more like I actually feel way more about dedicating my energy to leveling Samurai, then the most effective, like, the best you can do is just go all in on Samurai and just pushing that to be ahead. And do that.
Sloppy.
No, that is not correct, Zerilia. It's simply, if you're playing a job that is lower level than your highest, you get 100% extra XP from the armory bonus. If you are in a level range of 91 to 99, then the armory bonus is halved if you're benefiting from it.
Sloppy.
Rio, if your Pictomancer's level 56, which is not possible, then your level 54 Black Mage will gain a lot more XP. It's not exactly double. But it adds an extra 100%. Which, you know, stacks with food bonus and heat of battle and all that. Does this apply to crabs and gatherers? I think so. And did you guys see the Dragoon that saved me? Knew me? Rio says, why is it 56? Now, Rio, you may want to bring out pen and paper here. Actually, I'll help you. I'll bring out paint. Now, $56 is more than 54. That is the reason. That's why. But my Pixelmans is level 100. Yes, that 100 is more than 54. So your Black Mage is getting experience bonus from level 54 up to and including 99. They don't get double XP at level 100. I'm confused where you got the 56 from I said 100. Well, I clarified because you saying my Pixelman's ability being level 100 means my Black Mage gets double XP. Makes it sound like because I have a max level job, therefore I get bonus XP. When that's not how it works. It's simply this. That's all it comes down to. So that still applies here. Because this is how it works. I just chose 56 because it's so close to 54. Shadow says, so you're saying I should speed level fish on ocean fishing the moment Evercold drops? I'm pretty sure I don't know if Crafter and Gatherers benefit from the armory bonus at all, to be perfectly honest. But I'm pretty sure that if they do, then it's separate from combat jobs. And also, as Ilana also clarified, and I also did, from level 91 to 99, armory bonus is cut in half. Hey, Arazig. I'm an old player looking for some active players today to get right back into extreme grinds. Do you have a group? I mean, that's not what we're doing today. We're doing mental roulettes. You could try and ask in the community Discord. There's a link in the pinned message from Aradil, but, I mean, it doesn't sound like that's what you're aiming for. But welcome back to the game. I think. Or maybe I misunderstood completely. I will queue when it says 26. Yeah, key difference is that... Also, hey Chris, hope you're doing well. A key difference between armory bonus and road to 90 is that armory bonus adds 100% or 50% to whatever else you're getting. So if you have other XP bonuses, it, like, proportionally speaking, is weaker. If you, on the other hand, road to 90 doubles basically all XP in the game. I can't actually remember. I have the correct answer in my leveling guides, but I think it doesn't double quest XP, but everything else is doubled, including roulettes, which armory bonus doesn't boost, I don't think. I'm pretty sure that boosts the XP from the duty itself, but not the XP like bag you're given. Something like that. I'll say no. And Copper Sulfate, what's the strat to get more extremes in Mental Roulette? Queue at times where people would be queuing for extremes. I'll say Steve Austin. Steve says, as far as I've seen, it doubles quests as well. Well, there you go. Blah, 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 blah. Oh boy, 2 Kabis! Hey! Kabi communication. Squeaking at each other. They're also shaking at each other. If Manatee summoned a Kabi, what would the Kabi be like? Would it have a different shape and or color? That's a good question. Oops. The sound of a gremlin calling you something mean. It's like a Pokemon. Hey Nox! Oof! My feelings! Owie! Oof! I'm feeling misery! Thank you, Lamosi. Oh, thank you very much, Listalia. Somewhere like here. Uh-oh. Gonna be somewhere like over there. Gremlins can speak common. Yeah, but for some reason they decided to translate that into Ah yes, this psychic type Pokemon that speaks perfect English. How does it sound? Well, it certainly doesn't say, hello, my name is Steve. It go in the games. It can, though, you know, that's fair, Nox. It can speak. It chooses to sound like that. No, that makes a lot more sense. I could use my psychic ability to communicate with you, but this is way funnier. Yeah, that is true, Chris. Thank you, everyone. It does indeed help. All those things that the YouTubers say, it does help. It's just really difficult to explain exactly how. I mean, everyone's saying Slowbro can speak English, but have you considered that we are all just speaking Slowbro? Or do you mean the Slow King from the movie? Turns out that humans just learned to speak Slow King language. And then we're just taking credit, calling it not Slow King-ish. Just calling it English. What's your favorite job in Dawntrail right now? I really like Black Mage. Good luck, Nox. Get those poles. Are you sure this is the one, Frosty Trout? I thought you said you were level 52. It might be Amdapor Keep Heart you're thinking of. I'm pretty sure that one is level 50. Told us what Pokemon you liked before, right? I have, here and there. Yeah, there's Lost City of Amdapor, and then there's Amdapor Keep, and then there's also Lost City of Amdapor Heart, and there's Amdapor Keep Heart. Totally not confusing. No, Frosty Trout said specifically that it was a hard duty on their list. I'm pretty sure that Amdapor Keep Heart is level 50. I mean, a lot of the time, the Pokemon that I'm like, oh yeah, I like that one, have a tendency to have some weird gimmick. Or it's like Zizor. It's often bug types and steel types. Like, last time I played through a Pokemon game, it was a Radical Red, and I needed a Pokemon with Flash Fire on it to compensate for the fact that basically my entire team had a glaring fire weakness. Like, oh, bug type. Oh, steel type. Oh, bug type. I actually had a Gardevoir on my team. But, unfortunately, it didn't perform very well. I mean, I don't have exclusively steel and bug types, Naomi. Double Ray! Noises. Did they rework some dungeons, by the way? Haven't played like 6 months. Locked today and Wanderer's Palace look different. Wanderer's Palace is unchanged. They reworked... I have a video on this. They reworked every single dungeon, nearly every single dungeon that is part of the leveling experience in A Realm Reborn. And they have also reworked some A Realm Reborn MSQ max level dungeons. They've changed a little bit here and there on like leveling dungeons throughout the game. And the same sometimes applies to max level quote-unquote dungeons for each expansion. But they have not touched Wanderer's Palace because that's optional. Both versions are optional. And simultaneously, they are not part of the main quest. The fact that mana isn't reworked is so funny considering how many get lost in the place. The final boss in Hark Mana got reworked. Let's just say that... so again, I actually have a video on this. A whole video covering the changes of roughly the changes in every A Realm Reborn leveling dungeon, and it's for the ones that are a little older, where the change is like from longer ago. I have had to rely on footage from Mistech, from literally A Realm Reborn, to actually show you. And the original final boss of Hawk Mana, she mostly just hit you and cast like Fireball while summoning ads and summoning ads and summoning ads like a crazy person. Like just spammed ads. Thank you, Erdl. And she also had a mechanic where she would activate 4 braziers on the edge of the arena, and you had to go and turn them off by like interacting with them. But the pulses from the braziers, which did party-wide damage per brazier, could interrupt you. So you basically had to like get hit and then turn them off, because if you tried to turn them off like offbeat, you would get stopped. And all of the ads included the like I believe it included 2 of the sister thing that gives a stone skin to her in the current version, and it also included the sentry that does gaze mechanics. It was an actual ad you had to fight. And she just like swarmed you with, oh, life of 3. Wow. Which one is that? Yay! Guys, we did it! 10,000 duties. I was here. Hey, Lecho! And Stark and Microsog. Congratulations, go get a life. You know, back in Endwalker, I included that achievement in a video on some of the longest achievements to get in the game. And it was included because hypothetically it could be extremely time consuming to go out of your way to get. But that was like, even if you just spammed Ifrit normal and just one shot, it would still take you a while. But like the undercut is of course, but why would you do that? How many is needed for Life of 4? I'm pretty sure Life of 4 does not exist. Your Life of 3 is the last one. Thank you, Aerodil. Does this mean you completed your life? I don't know. Hey, GTU. Hope we will, and thank you. Thank you. Do you engage in PvP? Nope. Not really. A long time ago, I kind of did. Actually, most of my streams originally were PvP streams, but then I lost interest in it and did something else, and found that most people watching also want to see something I'm actually better at. I will queue when it says 7. Oh, 7. Only 1.5 players on Ziv Collect has it. Huh. Nee, Irak. It would be funny if they added 4 in the next expansion. Only 1.5%. I mean, that is a lot of people, but 1.5% is a pretty low percentage when it's an achievement that basically is acquired by playing the game. Access 1 million duties is 27 years minimum, 100 duties max per day. No, that is not correct. The 100 duties limit only applies for dungeons. If you queue for basically anything else, you can do as many as you want. But if you do 100 dungeons in a day, it will block you from queuing for anything. As in, the penalty is nothing is available. But you can do whatever you want, as much as you want, just not more than 100 dungeons. That was relevant when I was doing the Realm Reborn relic grind, I believe. It was really at least a relevant concern. I have the advantage of the daily reset and isn't like in the middle of the day in Europe. Uh-oh. 9-minute replacement. What do we think it is? And we have... What? Why? Okay. Should be concerned of what you need to do in Relic Rite to require more than 100 dungeons. Oh, for a Realm Reborn? For a Realm Reborn, the problem is you can do. Like, basically, there's this light farming step, and one of the ways to do it is to just spam dungeons. But you can do it way more efficiently without that, if you know what to do. Like, the key is don't light farm in Aurum Vale if you're gonna do the full weapon in one day, because you can't. That's it. That's the lesson. I actually have a video on the Realm Reborn relic where I basically explain that in detail, because we did a speed run of the relic in like 9 hours. And the reason is that there's a lot of duties that have to be dungeons, because it's like, it's naming specific duties that you have to do. That's an interesting time to use Living Dead. Might have been a misclick. Hey, Teddy. You could spam Ifrit. You could spam King Moggle. You could spam. Some people like to spam Bahamut. Yeah, that works. You just have to like farm something. You have to farm the resource through means that are not dungeons. That's all you have to do. Ryan says, have you done all the ultimates? If so, what was your favorite? I have not cleared any ultimate, but we've progged Ubu. On stream. Planning on doing a mat? I mean, we don't have the prerequisites to do it. We're still progging M12S. So, no. However, look forward to me on the cast of people commentating for the ultimate world first race, because I am on the list there. Yeah, I was also there for Heavyweight Savage. I was the Herald of Day 2. Is the casting list available somewhere? Not yet. But I was told that I was allowed to say that I was on the list. What is the commentating happening? Basically, instead of you having to like keep track of the race on your own and figuring out what, like, who's in the lead and so on, Frostymog runs a charity event where they keep track of everything and shows like the ones in the lead and everything, and then invite people that are good at commentating and all of that. Uh-oh. He died so suddenly. I feel like I just blinked and he was gone. But yeah, it's basically like, you know, like sports. So what you'll have is like, if stuff is happening, you'll probably have people that have some idea of what's going on, being like, oh, and then you see the guy doing this, and oh, they're doing that strategy that we've been seeing over the past few days, and then this happens, and like they might be discussing what the particular mechanic appears to be about and what the strategy people are using and all that. And when nothing's happening, maybe they're just, you know, talking about shenanigans. Maybe they'll just talk about whatever. And that's really what, like, that's what it's about, is that it's a pretty effective way to, like, just keep up with the race if you think it's interesting. You think we watch sports? I don't either, but you know what a sports commentator is, right? Hey, Silva! Tank Boy says, I think I only saw reprisal used on that pack before the tank died. I mean, the tank also said sorry. Good night, Kay! Isn't World First Pro technically esport? Yes, in a way. I should have put those cards on the ninja. It just occurred to me that stacking them on one person when you have two melees is better, but looking at the damage, I think the ninja might have been the better pick. Well, I know now. Blech. What do you mean, Stark? It's very iconic. it gravity go. Ponder the orb. You know, it is probably more concerning that the ninja is second in enmity with single target buttons. But it is a group of 3 sprouts, so I guess we'll manage. Apparently the healer they had before was really bad, as in they weren't healing. But I could see, like, that is actually a pretty funny thing, is that if the whole party is kinda weak sauce, then it's probably like, if you're gonna kick someone over that, then it makes sense that you would kick the healer first. I don't know. I didn't get the full story. They just said that they weren't healing much. Kick is a bit extreme, but it's shake. Yep, it's possible that there was something else going on. I didn't get the full story. I just said what went wrong, and that's what they told me. Spin the wheel! Wow! Eric says, I don't understand why one target Dalton is so prevalent. Why not spam Ryzen with the same fervor instead? The problem is that it has more hand signs. And it's a dot. It's like 2 things that make people go, I should be using this. I should be, like, spamming this. Anyway, I'll be right back, and then we keep going. The Wheel of Sage. In the meantime, sanity restored. Alright, I'm back. Basically that, Listalia. Part of the reason for it is that the, like, game guidelines and rules dictate simply that, like, technically kicking is a gray area for various reasons, but let's just say it's not allowed to kick someone for just being bad. Like, that's not a justifiable reason. The reason why it's a gray area is that you can kick someone for basically a severe misalignment in preference in the party. Like, a really, really random example is that, and you would probably not ever have been put in this position, but a random example could be that you go into a duty and one of the DPS have decided that they are only going to walk for the whole duty. And the rest of the party has determined that they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to do that. And that DPS happens to be severely slowing down the party as a result. I mean, it could be the tank or the healer as well in a similar example, but the key is that the 3 other players don't want to do that, and as a result, this walker is effectively kind of griefing. And you could, you know, go out of your way to, like, report them for, like, you know, lethargic gameplay. You could also just kick them. And even though there isn't a reason on the kick list, when that is the reason given, like, then it's technically allowed. The reason why it's becomes a gray area is because as there isn't like a reason there that works like that, you could go into the position that you kick the person for walking, they report you for kicking them, and the GM determines that, like, I'm not saying that it would happen, but it is possible that the GM decides that they sided with the walker. I don't know why they would do that, but considering that it is technically, when it's a gray area, it's essentially the GM's discretion whether they think that there's something to be dealt with here. That's why it's a gray area. But because the rules sort of basically dictate that you can be punished for kicking someone if you're not kicking them for a justified reason, then basically it means that people are much less likely to kick some rando for nothing. Would you rather deal with an ice mage or a dancer who doesn't use dance partner? Depends on how big a streamer the walker is. I don't know, Steve. We have recently seen, I don't want to get into too deep into it, but we have seen recently a very big streamer get banned on stream. So don't get too quick on that one. LQ, and it says 43. The non-dance partner dancer would be less bad if they do otherwise. Yeah, between an ice mage and a dancer without dance partner, the dancer would be doing more damage. Ice mage, just looking at their filler rotation, an ice mage will do like 40% or more less damage than a black mage doing the basic rotation correctly. And while dancer gains a lot of damage from dance partner, I don't think it's 40%. Matthew says, I got kicked for just sticking up for the healer. Wasn't worth reporting though because it won't change anything. I mean, that's how they get away with it. If people do something that is like that hurt you like that, you report them. If they get reported enough, they will eventually get told, you're not allowed to do that. And then they'll get punished. But if you don't report them, then nothing happens. So you, in those kind of situations, Matthew, you should take the time to report. If you don't care enough, then that's okay. But if the reason you didn't report them is because you don't think anything will happen, then that's exactly how they get away with it, because they might have done that 30 times and no one individual thought it was worth it. So they got reported 0 times. Rossi Trout says, I thought I was going to get kicked in an AR dungeon the other day for dying as the tank, only to realize I died because the healer wasn't healing. People don't generally kick for wiping. Like, that's just part of it. It kind of depends on the individuals in the party, I'd say. But, like, 99% of the time, I'd say people would just be like, okay, and then they just pull again. Sometimes the reason you died was because the healer, like as I did there in the dungeon we just did, I blinked and then the tank was dead. Turns out the tank wasn't using very much mitigation, and I didn't realize that they could drop from like 50 to 0 in 1 second. And yeah, exactly, make some time. Do that. Also, instant replacement? Are we getting an alliance raid? No. Wow, well, And meow cape. And winks. This is the this is specifically the one extreme where I'm like, let's just pull and give it a go. Typically doesn't work. Oh boy. I'm not super convinced that this will go great. It's quite impressive that we managed to do this much damage to the king. But the king just hanging out in the middle like that is bad. Amazingly, the Mock Rain didn't kill anyone. Is it possible if you pulled into Dawntrail extremes in a Mental Roulette? No. Something like that, Rio. Oh, both tanks have both debuffs. That's gonna be rough for a full minute. Better. The thing that is scary this time is that when you're tanking the king, you're supposed to move away when Mughals come close. You can't just go somewhere and just hang out. It actually really sucks to be the king tank, because you have to run away a lot. But that was really good. The problem is we don't have the resources to rest the dead healer, and we don't have the survivability to do it without him. Ugh. Oh, that was fast. And the reason why, for anyone wondering, the reason why that I'm just throwing harp on enemies is because it's my weakest attack. It's pretty strong, but it's my weakest attack, and I'm using that because if someone looks at the same Mox Guard as me and chooses to hit them, then if we're both, like, slapping them with a noodle, it might be fine. But if we both hit him with the strongest we have, then, like, things are gonna go bad. So I don't even, like, I'm basically noodle slapping the whole way. Well, I told them. I did say the tank should consider a tank switch. Now I can't do any more than that. One of the tank Moogles has 5 stacks. That tank is getting smashed. Ugh. Very nice. That's actually pretty fast, considering it seemed like it was like... I think it looked like people had like a small idea of what needed to happen. For the most part. But it was still a pretty big improvement. Did I miss a lot? We went focus mode. Hey, Volpixel! Oh, nice, Lollipop. Nate Jet. You know, the funny thing there, Ryu, is that with Dawntrail, there were discussions about, like, from Yoshi P himself, about what will they do after level 100. Then, like, as you may have noticed, it seems like they went, I don't know, and just kicked the ball down to the next expansion. And it wouldn't be the first time that happened. WoW had that kind of problem too. They hit like 120 before they went, maybe we should do something. What does it even take to earn a Mentor Crown? You need to be max level with a tank, a healer, and a DPS. You need to do the role quest line for tank, healer, and a DPS. And then you also need 1,500 commendations to be a battle mentor. For crafter, you need to do like make like a ton of crafts, and you need like I think a gatherer and a crafter at max level or something like that. It's a lot easier technically and a lot faster to get. To unlock Mentor Roulette, you just have to be a battle mentor and have cleared, synced or unsynced, doesn't matter, but have cleared all of these duties here. Every single one must be completed at least once at some point on the character. All of these. The only things that are not on this list is Savage, just all Savage, the current expansion's extreme duties, Binding Coils of Bahamut, PvP, basically anything in this menu. That's it. Mistel, you don't have to be synced for anything for it to count. You just have to clear it. So you could do, like, you could just do, like, Endwalker extremes unsynced. That's what I did. So mentors are the definition of him, her? No. A lot of mentors have not actually done hard content. If they have access to Mentor Roulette, they may have done slightly challenging content in like unsynced versions of Endwalker extremes. Some of the last ones are slightly challenging, but no, like the him, her mentors, like the absolute goats are rare. Like, you could land in a... Like, just to give an example, the Moggle Nog we just did, I think we were 4 mentors. And... I mean, I didn't exactly give the other mentors a chance to explain, but it's not like they were jumping at their bit to do it. I explained it, and they said thank you. One of them knew me. Is it hard to find groups to do Endwalker extremes unsynced, though? Not necessarily. It's a lot easier if you have, like, a little community to play with. Do you think they should tighten mentor requirements? The problem, Rio, is... The problem is that the way to get a mentor system where all of the mentors are good, like, good, solid mentors, would require, like, a human to, like, conduct the test, not just some in-game element. There's no way to make it perfect. And some people think that mentor titles should be unlocked by having done really hard content, but that's not required. In fact, some of the worst mentors I've met have legend titles, because they are so disconnected from what a Sprout needs that they can't help them. And they're just terrible as a result. So having done hard content does not necessarily make a good mentor. And most of the other like properties that could make a good mentor are not exactly things that are easily, you know, tested with like, well, you need this achievement. And I'm just saying, I have a background in the simple fact that I was a mentor at university. I have real life experience with being a mentor. And I'm saying there is no realistic way that they could make a system to make sure that all of the mentors they get are good. You have to do all Hildebrands have access to mentor roulette then? You only have to do up to level 90 because there's a trial there. Did you have a crown? No, I didn't. Was I Weaver? And even then, even in the real world, mentor is a complicated conversation because you could have had a mentor at a workplace, and sometimes all you need is someone there. Like, he might be a jerk, right? He's just like, "Ugh." And like, you just say, hey, how do you do this thing? And then it's like, you do it like that. And that's all you needed. So he was perfect. Other times you might have one that is like, basically like helicoptering over you, making sure that everything's right. And you learn nothing because he's moving all of the obstacles out of the way. And like, you can see those in like in 14 as well. It's really complicated to figure out what's right and what each individual actually needs. And being really good at something, as Weaver says, doesn't make you good at teaching. And like, in fact, the concept that some players believe that the way to make sure that all mentors are good in 14 is to just require that they have to have cleared the current current raid tier on Savage or something. Yes, I have heard that one suggested. Suggests that they believe all it takes to have a good teacher is to require them to have done something really hard. Meanwhile, I mean, you could be, I don't know, a fat guy who never runs and teach about athletics. If you know what you're talking about, then that's fine. You might... admittedly, you might be less believable if you did that. But you might still know exactly what you're talking about and be good at it. Exactly, Frosty Trout. And that's also like... in the Discord server, there is a room called the classroom, specifically for asking questions, and there's a lot of questions. There's not bad questions. Well, there are some bad statements sometimes, but we'll answer them anyway. What if they made it so when you apply for a mentor title, you have to make an oath to help Sprouts? Let me put it like this, Rio. I'm not gonna name them, but let's just say that there are other content creators that believe that it is totally fine to explain how to do things in 14 while being a mega jerk. Because the person who needs the advice, if they don't want it, they can just ignore it. Technically, standing by, I will help the Sprout, but they'll do it by basically shoving your head into the food and going, eat! And they're technically sticking to their oath. I have a video, I basically remember like this. On this specific topic, I have a video covering the topic of titles don't mean that you know anything. I believe it's called PayPal Legends or something like that. And that one also covers mentors and legends and whatnot, right? That you don't, like, just because you have a title or have cleared something doesn't mean that you're good at something else. Having done the current newest ultimate doesn't mean that you're actually good at mentoring or actually even at old Savage raids. I also have a video about misconceptions about mentors. And... what was the third one? Let me see if I can catch it. If I can catch the thing that I had on my mind just a second ago. I have a video about why your advice sometimes falls on deaf ears, because if you tell the person in a jerkish way what to do, then they will not listen. In fact, they might do the opposite just to get back at you because you basically called them bad. Also, thank you so much for the super chat, Amished. Thank you so much for all the Sprouts out there that are learning right now. Oh, thank you so much. Can we have Oathbreaker mentors? They have a broken crown. And also true, despite the amount of crowns you might see, your average mentor might not actually know what it is that they're signing up for. Like, let's just say that the things that you're signing up for, like, Rio, you're saying that maybe they should sign it, like, have to sign an oath or something. When you put on the mentor crown... Actually, let me show you. I take off my mentor crown. Yes, boom. Now I want to put it on again. Every time you do that, this appears. This is the thing you're signing. Your online status will be set to mentor. Other players will be able to identify you as a mentor while this setting is active. As a mentor, you are expected to actively perform the following. Provide gameplay advice for new adventurers and other players, so sprouts or not, doesn't matter. 2, be an exemplar for player etiquette, so if you see a mentor that's a jerk, boom. 3, invite new adventurers to the Novice Network and answer their queries in the chat channel. However, it doesn't force you into the Novice Network, so that one is a little bit blurry, right? And then there's also here, inappropriate mentor behavior may be reported, which, I mean, the things they set there are basically the same things that a normal player should be, not a jerk. So... like, basically it's saying if you do bad thing, but then that's bad, you could be punished. But if you do bad thing, but also you're a mentor, then it could be really bad. So yeah, if you see mentors be jerks, you report them just like you report a not mentor. Frosty Trot says maybe add a rating system, and if after a certain amount of negative ratings it changes color from green to red or gold to black. People would troll that and grief it and just give you negative ratings because they don't like you. That wouldn't work. Image says, what's Novice Network? The Novice Network is a global chat room for new players and mentors. Mentors can basically just do like this. If actually, do we have a sprout here? I don't think we do. They can just target sprouts and returning players, and they will be invite to Novice Network in the drop-down menu. Just, and then they get like a pop-up saying, "Would you like to be part of the Novice Network? You can get help and stuff." And it's just a chat room. Mentors have this sprout icon down here. You just click it, boom, you're in the Novice Network. I'm not in the Novice Network. For 2 reasons. The first one is, I don't think it helps that much. I don't think I've hit, like, I feel like I've wasted time there. The second bit is that I feel like my presence in the Novice Network, considering who I am, might not be a good idea. Get what I mean, right? Say, my son will be doing well. I want to play an MMO game, but cannot decide between Final Fantasy or Elder Scrolls Online. I have never played Elder Scrolls Online, but I can say that you can play the free trial of Final Fantasy XIV, which includes the critically acclaimed expansions of Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers, up to level 80 with no time limit, and you can play all of it. The only things you don't have access to are some social features, and there's a money cap and things like that. But you could play for months and years and not run out of content for free. So you could just try it. I've never played ESO. My brother has. I've seen it. Anyway, I will queue when it says 56. Also, it's Yatra. And hey, Blocky. Yeah, basically, the problem is that the oath that the mentors have to sign there is pretty vague, but what they're ultimately saying is, don't be a jerk and try to help the new players to the best of your ability. That's ultimately what the mentor thing is saying. Don't be a jerk and try to help other players. And that should be pretty easy. And if you don't want to do that, you can just take it off. Meanwhile, for me, it's so easy that I'll randomly spout fun facts at you about the game without even being asked. Say Lilac. Alex says, last time I was in Novice Network, people were openly talking about mods, and I haven't really bothered rebooting it since. Wow. I feel like that could be pretty funny for someone who didn't like modders. Just hop in and just go, report. Pro tip, guys. While it might be safe to talk about mods, just remember that technically the official stance is no, and they might punish you even though you've used mods for years. If you start talking about it in game, then you basically get planted evidence in the game. And they might have to punish you because you literally put that in front of their face. Pro tip, do not talk about mods in game. Just don't. It's way safer to just not do that. You might be safe, but you also might not be. Like, talking about mods in game is like walking up to a stranger, handing them a knife, and going, alright, now we can talk. Just in case you get tired of me, you can just use that. Kayla says, can you only join the Novice Network by invite? I've been a Sprout for like 6 months and haven't been invited. Correct. Sprouts can only be invited. You can simply, like, if you just shout or just ask, you just walk up to a mentor and say, can you invite me to the Novice Network? You will either immediately be invited to the Novice Network, or that mentor will be like, oh, there's no point. And a different mentor will invite you to the Novice Network. You just ask for it. I have randomly seen people ask to be invited to the Novice Network, and I will try to invite them when I see it. But I don't like shoot from the hip and invite sprouts to the Novice Network because I know some find it annoying. I'll say Sotita. I'm sometimes a bit scared to give advice if other mentors are in my group or one mentor has already started the explanation, still new to mentoring, so trying to get more confident. I mean, adding, if you feel like they missed something, you can just add it. If you feel like they're being a little bit slow when you're trying to like add something, just do it. The worst thing that can happen is that it doesn't help. If you feel like the advice they're giving is not correct, you say, I think you should do this instead. But I mean, if you're nice, there's nothing to worry about. I'll say Zonic Blast. I know you've been here for a bit. Hope you're doing well as well. That's also a good point, Necrofits. I'm also not in the Novice Network, so it would be kind of random for me to just go up and invite people and then not be there to greet them if they click yes. Hey, wait a minute, Razia Louis? I'm pretty sure they're community. Tank going. We need to go where the tank is going. Ow. Oh boy! Double kill! Hey, Bohillo! Hope you're doing well. I completely goofed that one. I wanted to do double Luna to fix it from the opener, and instead I made a Celestial Revolution. Womp, womp, womp. The thing that went wrong is that I went into it thinking, I want to do double Luna. Then I started a Solar. Task failed successfully. Here's a luck. To your question, Sonic Blast, I think I have to read that closer after this fight. Oh boy. You know the level where you get Fire 4 and using Flare as a finisher becomes a DPS loss? Is there any job changes to fix that? No. Basically, Sonic Blast, throughout Dawntrail, they reduced the cast time of Flare, which made it go from don't use Flare as a finisher to it's actually pretty good when you're level 50. To it's like such a small damage loss as a even when you have Fire 4 that it's pretty much like it really comes down to like really small things like raid buff timings and when the boss dies, when there's downtime, blah 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 blah, all those things. I'm pretty sure I cover this in my Is Black Mage Actually Hard video. That this is like a thing. And that there's a lot to talk about there. How weave intensive is Monk? Very fast. Just feels like something is missing in those level ranges. Yeah, the thing that's missing is that they made it so you don't have to use Fire 1 at all. Isn't Black Mage like 3 different jobs across the leveling? People exaggerate it to say that, yes. It's a lot more confusing than that. Like, genuinely, Rio, I have a video called something to the effect of, is Black Mage actually hard? And in that one, like, first of all, I explain a lot of the abbreviations people use. But then I go through, like basically, like, level ranges. Of like, you can do this weird thing at this level, you can do this weird thing at this level, you can do this weird thing at this level, you can do this weird thing at this level. From like 35 to 100, there is something. There's always something. So if you're just doing the intuitive thing and nothing else, from level 35 and onward, if that's all you're doing, you're leaving damage on the table. I can tell you that much. With 100% certainty. That's how jank Black Mage is. And it's even worse for AoE, where the jank is like potentially 20% damage gain. Say Blantum! I just finished MSQ and have been doing M9 to 12 normal and want to start thinking about doing harder things like extremes. But I'm still dying a lot to when the ground AoE snapshot when you're standing in them and don't want to be a liability in harder content. Are there any tips for getting used to it, or do I just keep playing and I'll get a feel sooner or later? If you're only doing M9 to 12 normal, like, once a week, my advice, Blantham, would be, if you're having trouble with the mechanics, is do something. I think Zav has said he did this. Every now and then he does, like, minimized level stuff, and he's very good. Just choose one of those. Just choose a normal raid, specific boss, queue for that, and do it. Finish, queue again, do it again. Finish, queue again. And just keep choosing the same job so that you're like mastering the fight. And you just keep doing that. At some point, you either realize that there's something really wrong with the way you're playing, or you get really good at that fight and you don't die anymore. If you're having trouble with the AoE snapshots, a key tip here is that, and you might already know this, the key tip is, in Final Fantasy XIV, the time where attacks say, oh, gotcha, and you can't dodge anymore, is when the marker disappears, not when the attack actually lands. So if an enemy is like, I'm gonna hit ya, and there's like a big circle AoE, the circle AoE disappears, he's already, basically, as far as the world and the universe of the game is concerned, he has already punched you. He's already, like, a ghost of him just went, and it, like, the universe is just catching up to reality on that. And then, like, 5 seconds later, he finally resolves the punch, and you take the damage, even though you're like, you're over there now. If you move away before that circle disappears, then you're fine. I'm saying this because a lot of the time when people have trouble with AoE snapshots, it can be something like this. And practicing the same fight a lot until you get good at it is a really good starting point, I think. Especially when, like, if you're doing, like, current content. But after that, once you feel confident that you can do, like, you don't have to be perfect, but, like, as you get more confident, starting with some of the more recent extremes is not a bad call. And again, like, watch a guide. I really advise watch a guide for the extremes. Like, normal content you don't need to, but extremes are too hard for you to just go in and just wing it. That's not how they're meant to be done like this. Like, blind runs are a thing, but that's not normal. Like, that's not how most people do it. Once day one is over and people have guides, people do them with guides mostly. So you should watch a guide. Try to memorize as much as you can. People are not expecting you to memorize the whole thing. Just memorize as much as you can. And then practice. Same applies for Savage, but I do recommend doing some extremes before you go into Savage, because the difficulty spike is pretty big. And a lot of people say that the newest extreme is very, very, very manageable. You could do that one. But yeah, my first tip is, if you feel like you're getting hit a lot on normal, practice that. And if you're not used to, like, repeating the fight, then part of the reason why you might have trouble is because you don't actually do the fight you're having trouble with frequently enough for it to, like, stick. I think we do one more. Enjoy your evening, Mistle. You could also do the Unreal, although I think Shinryu is really hard. Maybe that's not the best move. You could also do Advanced. Yes, the new variant Advanced is also very good, but there you might have a better experience if you can round up a friend or two or three. LQ when it says 35. Yeah, the same thing happened in Endwalkers Aurelia, where we had Thordan for like a year. Exaggeration. But yeah. They really know how to pick their finales for Unreal, right? This one is lasting like 4 to 8 months, or 4 months. Let's do something easy. Alright, well this one is the last one, so that'll be like most of the year out. Well, that one should be something that really sticks. It's also a good point, Jet, that if you're having trouble with snapshots, it could also be because your ping, your latency is causing it to be inconsistent. Won't we have a period where we won't have an Unreal? Yes, at the start of Evercold. I believe the first Unreal will be 8.1. Oh boy, what a finale. Well, this stream is going a little longer, guys. Just one last one. Kid named Praetorian. Man, I wanted to go to Leviathan Extreme with you, Tingle. Man. Oh boy, time to do some chores. Could you imagine if I did that just mid-stream? Like we reach a cutscene and I just get up and leave? Guys, I'm just gonna go do the laundry. I'll be back in a bit. Exactly, Emma Meow. One more video before bed. Is there any hard content when a new expansion comes out? Yes, the 2 first extremes come with the expansion itself. And then that's all for a few weeks. Then they the first raid tier comes out on normal. And then I actually don't remember if I'm pretty sure they have decided to displace Savage a week or 2. Hey, Queenie! And the Legion is coming! I hope you're all doing well! You caught us getting caught in MSQ jail! What were you up to, Queenie? It's even worse because people who were queuing into me got Leviathan Extreme and Underkeep, and I'm here stuck with this. You were playing Overwatch. Were you winning? You were mostly not winning. Oh. I'll give you a shout out when we get to the cutscene. I feel like there's such an opportune moment. That's why I'm just focused on that. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know me, I do a lot of 14 content. We also sometimes play other games. Quite recently, we finished playing through Expedition 33. That's usually on Wednesdays. And once a week, we do mental roulettes. And a lot of my streams are actually dedicated to helping new players and old players alike, and discussing things in the game. So if you think that's interesting. And we have a Discord, that's true. And I also make a lot of videos. I can't recall, did you get into the mental rouletting yet, Queenie, or did you decide not to do that? I remember you've been focused a lot on PvP. Noise says, is Overwatch worth coming back to? I don't know. Queenie says Overwatch is genuinely a great spot right now. There you go, Noi. There you go. I played Overwatch right when it was like super new. And I haven't played the game since I just lost interest, but I have not played the game while what's her face, the one the hacker girl was in the game. Queenie says I have mentor roulette unlocked, but I'm scared of the responsibility. You know, that's funny. We actually had a conversation earlier about what mentors are supposed to do and all that, and what is expected. And what's incredible is that as long as you're trying your best, there's not that much to be afraid of. As long as you're trying to be a good goober, then there's not that much to worry about. You just try your best and help some sprouts and some not sprouts, and then you win. Earlier we had the Good King Mugglemog Extreme, and we got it in 3 pulls. So we do that a lot. Hey, back ultimate. Hope you doing well. Yeah, you have just dived into a Queenie raid. And that's fine. That's fair, Noe. Like, you could try it again. It could have become better. Hey, Pump says, I did drunk mental roulettes last night. Most people don't expect much. It's okay to not be the best player. Absolutely true. As long as you're trying, and as long as you're not being a jerk about it, then most players will not even ask or even question it. That's a difficult one, Blantham. I actually... Preacher, so Preach Gaming over on YouTube, made a video about his journey of clearing the current Savage tier. And he explained himself that there's a lot of skills that he, as a WoW raider of decades, had to learn to Savage raid, because it's not the same. You can probably apply a lot of the skill that you have from WoW, but you're going to have to recognize where things are different and then use that. And yeah, some of the things that get the weirdest, like for instance, ground AoEs, can probably trip you up. Like in WoW, you just have to dodge before the hammer, smacks down. But in 14, if the marker saying the hammer's gonna smack down is going away 2 seconds before the hammer smacks down, then you better have moved away in advance. Wow. Hey, at least we have a more interesting rotation than Art of War. Aegis mods. I also myself came from WoW many years ago. For some reason, I don't remember it being particularly surprising to attack as a healer. But my first healer in 14 was Scholar, so maybe it made sense. Like, that I just looked and was like, oh, well, if they're healing, then I could attack. But I could definitely see that would be a very surprising. There's also things that you might often rely on from WoW, like mouse over macros and things like that don't really work as well in 14. Noise is what's your favorite healer, by the way? I really like White Mage at the moment, but I tend to like lean towards Sage actually. It kind of swings. Like, I think it's probably more accurate to say that I'm not. I usually am not a huge fan of Astrologian. I'll say Sunjit. WoW healers need to DPS on certain levels of difficulty. Yeah, in certain Mythic Pluses, you may be required to attack. And if you're like... I could imagine if you're like... a bit undergeared for the current raid tier, then you might need to attack to make up for the gear missing on the damage dealers and the tanks. We regularly see this in World First races. It can also get pretty crazy in the others on the other side of things. Like, I have referenced this before back in Mr. Pandaria, the world first clear of the hardest difficulty of the final raid on 10 man. Used one healer when normally you'd use 2 or 3 even. And the one healer they had also had to like use the toolkits of a holy priest to essentially switch to attack mode, which like they distinctly could do. It's more complicated than that, but for those that don't play WoW and don't know the mechanics, it's easy to say. They use their toolkits to basically switch to attack mode. It was actually Siege of Orgrimmar. Wouldn't surprise me if Heart of Fear did it too. But they had a holy priest as their only healer, and the only healer had to sometimes just stop healing to attack. Exactly, the chakra switching Imperial. Exactly. And that can make things very different from 14, where it's like, you have 2 healers, but they basically always have to attack. Or like, have to. Like, let's just say that if you check the data, the biggest impact on damage output in a raid is actually... this might sound a little weird. Stick with me here. The most impactful damage in a party is the damage the healers do. Relatively speaking, because the damage the DPS are doing are typically pretty close. Like, the 4 DPS you bring will bring roughly the same damage to the table, and they're not gonna get distracted by other stuff. They don't even have a reason to not do the damage. Like, there could be a skill issue, but that's a different story. Tanks are going to be doing roughly the damage they can do, but healers are more likely to, like, when they're proccing and learning a fight, be required to heal a lot more, and they might be more... likely to like skip on the attacking until they feel comfortable, meaning that like if you're lacking damage, surprisingly it's a lot more likely that the damage you might be needing in like a high performing raid team could come from the healers, that they just need to like bring it a little more. That doesn't mean that you suddenly have carte blanche to complain to healers when the duty is going slowly, but the healers definitely have a huge impact on the damage output because the other roles are less likely to like vary as much on the damage they're doing. And also, as Burial says, healers and tanks in 14 do a lot higher damage, relatively speaking, maybe compared to certain other MMOs and games. I would say healers especially. It's actually pretty funny. You can usually tell if someone claims that healers do basically no damage in 14, you can usually tell that they've never looked at the damage they're doing. It's my space cup. It comes from the void. Lantern says, I've been playing Mists of Pandaria Classic with a casual guild, and some of these fights would not be killed with that group if I wasn't beating some of them in damage as a healer. Oof. that is that's rough. Zunji says, I don't know if you still play WoW, but in 15s we mostly self-heal or use defensives. Even I, the tank, self-heal more than the healer heals me. I mean, I played, like the last time I actively played WoW was in Battle for Azeroth, but I played that for like a month. I played basically all of Legion. In Legion, tanks didn't really, like, basically for most tanks, like, you didn't need anyone. The healer was there to keep the DPS alive, and the DPS were there to make the duty go fast, or the dungeon go faster, the fight go faster, because it's not gonna kill you. Like, I actually basically had like a catchphrase in WoW, which went a little something like this: do you want me to wipe it, or should I give it a try? Because typically, if the party died, I could probably keep it going for like a 5-10 minutes. And whether that would kill the boss or not is a different story. But yeah, I have not played it in a long time. But I was looking at the at the world first race. Both this one and the recent one. Oh, sorry, this one and the last one. The reason I'm not resing them is because they're Pokeballing. I'll wait until they actually can take the rest. But yeah, I used to play WoW a lot. In Legion, I even, like, I had my Mythic Plus group, and we farmed enough that we sold gold runs to people, basically merc runs for the 14 equivalent. I actually also played, and actually the real last time I played WoW was around the time when hardcore was something people were starting to dabble in. I just didn't get that far because I lost interest. I didn't die though. There's something really funny about reading something like that and realizing that no, that's perfectly natural. Psionic Blast saying, I saw a WoW raid from like the early 2000s. It was something. Back in May Day, we needed 40 people to do a raid. And yeah, a single spread AoE, a single proximity AoE on one person. Now that was a mechanic. We called it Living Bomb. And yet people failed it, yeah. Like, consider that in 14 you might have a boss in a normal duty put like proximity AoEs on 2 players at once. And yes, we saw that just earlier today. I believe Phantom Train did that. And all you have to do was like go away, place it, and run back. That's a normal duty that you're meant to beat in one try. Meanwhile, in the first raid of World of Warcraft, one boss, like it had other mechanics, quote unquote, but they didn't really do anything. The only memorable mechanic from Baron Geddon was that he would use Living Bomb on a random player, and that player, all they had to do was run away. You just had to pay attention to you getting a debuff and run away. But it's not obvious what you're supposed to look. Your UI might be really bad. Your PC might be running at like 3 frames per second, if even that. And it was new back then. Like, I have heard people like from like, you know, a decade older than me explain that 3D games confuse them. Like, that's overwhelming. But they're good at 2D games.
Look for the lips control.
There was a lot of technical issues.
It'll be somewhere nearby. Take the lid down, and you should find yourself in the chamber.
I will not move when Flame Wreath is cast or the raid blows up. That's pretty interesting, Tickle. That's a lot of speed.
Keep your eyes peeled. Gaius could be waiting for you down there. Oh, and don't even think about dying. You're too bloody useful. The interference is getting worse. I don't think the connection will last much.
Sonic Blast is my older brother was permanently burned out on raiding on any MMO due to this, due to bad connections, or? And exactly, Meowtondu, is that if you think that it might be annoying that that one guy with a terrible attention span is causing problems in an 8-man, imagine how bad it is when you're 40. The capacity to try and fall in with the tapestry in a 40-man raid team is a lot higher than in an 8-man team. And then on top of that, people might just feel more inclined to do it as well. Admittedly, with 40 players, you also had to, like, if you even had voice chat and a functional mic, it might still be like 4 people talking, because if everyone is talking, then no one can hear anything. Is the old WoW rating, plus being somewhat forced to do it. Yeah. The problem there is, of course, that the MMO style of World of Warcraft focuses a lot more on, like, there's one path forward. So once you have the best gear from 5-man dungeons, you kind of had to raid. That's also the reason why when, like, I hit level 60 in Classic WoW with a warrior, I very quickly was like, I don't want to raid. I don't want to go through all their tuning and all that. No thanks to all of that. Nothing of that of the sort. I'd actually rather not. I'll just play a different character, and then, like, I lost interest in the game. But I was good enough at tanking that I didn't even have to try. I got invited to Onyxia raids by merely logging in, only to have to say I'm not attuned. I just logged in to grab money for an alt. Hey, I got free rin. Pyrile says not only 40, but the difference in performance is insane, depending on how much time you put in to consume buffs, etc. Also true. You know, the funny thing there, Blantum, is that there is, like, I can guarantee you there's a lot of personal responsibility in 14. But a lot of it is almost like a, like, if you've ever done a dance fight in WoW, like, there's a lot of, you have to do exactly like this. But the reason why it's funny is because World of Warcraft had this experience a few times. Like, 40-man raiding. Then they were like, oh, we're gonna reduce it to 25-man raiding. And like, the big guilds were like, oh, awesome, we can cut the fat, we can just take the 15 worst players and kick them out. And then we just have the, like, the elite of 25 players, and then when they eventually made, like, 10-man raiding an option that was, like, comparable to 25-man raiding, there were a lot of guilds that were like, oh, awesome, we can take the 15 worst players and kick them out, and then we have, like, the elite team. And for some reason, every time they did that, there were still, you know, the bad players, because you just, you know, you just move the bar. So yeah, it's true that it does mean that there's a lot more responsibility, and the 8 players you have will have a lot of stuff to, like, keep track of. But even when you take out all of those players, you will still have someone who's the worst. I can't wait to be the bad player now that it's 8. That's the spirit. Yeah, that's kind of what I meant, Brewski, is that it wasn't in Wrath that I would say that 10-man was considered, like, comparable. Because it was basically marketed, it was basically effectively intro raiding, because the gear was worse. Noxus turns out in order for someone to be the best, someone has to be the worst. Ah! Yeah, that's a conundrum we'll never figure out. How? How can we make it so that we can have the best player, but not have to have a worst player? We just have players. How can we do that? If you're alone in your category, you can be both. I mean, you're right. No competitive ranking. The problem there, Jet, is that players will find a way to make it competitive. They always do. It doesn't even have to be something that was like inherently meant to be competitive. It will be something like data, just out of curiosity, and then people find out, wait a minute, I can track my number, which means that my number can be tracked to be either bigger or smaller than yours. There's competition to be had here. Right, Noi, enjoy your evening. Yeah! Hey, third hub. Hope you're doing well. For the quadruple zero pass. I'm glad to hear that, third hub. Hey, Solar Blades. People can make Animal Crossing competitive. It happens everywhere just naturally when there's data. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even have, like, it can even be something that isn't really competitive. It'll just be like, wanting to be the first to unlock the thing. Wanting to be the first to complete the thing. Wanting to be the first to defeat the boss. Wanting to be the first to defeat the boss in underpants. Wanted to be the first to defeat the boss with bare hands. Wanted to be the first to beat the boss with, while blindfolded. Wanted to be the fastest. Wanted to be the most epic. It can be a completely PvE game, but there will be a competition, whether you want it or not. You will have a challenge. That makes it difficult if you just wanna hang out and have a good time. A gray pass means the boss died. Assuming the pass is on a kill. But there is something to be said that it might be pretty difficult. Is it possible? Is it possible? I don't think it is. Just like of how I know this data works. Is it possible to have a full raid team all get 0 passes on a Savage boss and still clear? I'm pretty sure the answer is no, because if there is a clear with a 0 pass, but each of those 8 jobs, where the rest of the party was doing fine, then you'd have to do worse than that. And if those clears were like at the very cusp of wiping to the Hardened Rage, then you wouldn't be able to, right? No, don't sell yourself short, Aradil. You're good. You're fine. Also gets pretty funny. I remember back in Endwalker. No, wait, it was back in Shadowbringers. The best Paladin pass, like the highest pass, for some reason, on E12N. So the normal version, right? With no Hardened Rage or anything. Had 0 passes on everyone else in their party. And if you checked the data, you would find that they basically went in with a full pre-made, and everyone else in the party went and like got themselves killed once they were no longer needed. And they were just present to deal with mechanics that required 8 players. And then the Paladin got a super high pass because they did a huge amount of damage. Like, they did the most damage. Gray passes don't necessarily get carried by having 80 passes on the team. But 0 passes typically do. But I'm pretty sure you could clear a boss with a full team of gray passes. What's the lowest pass needed to defeat the boss? That's really difficult to say. But does it have to be the pass on everyone? Or just some? There's also some jobs that could do better while performing a lower pass. It's really, really weird. Could you do it in one of the old Savages? Maybe, although old Savage tiers typically don't get tracked for passing anymore. It's dependent on the distribution of damage. Yeah, that's correct. I'd even say, like, the easier it is to do a really high amount of damage on a job, the easier it is to, like, get close to that without getting a very high pass. Like, I'm pretty sure you could place yourself, like, you could smash your own pass number really hard on, say, a Paladin by doing everything correctly, except you never click fight or flight. Not even once. You'll just fly right under all the Paladins that actually press that too. Exactly, Brewski. I had a feeling that, like, I'm pretty sure that I've seen this, so I'm pretty confident of that. The problem is that 0 pass basically means you have to be the worst. And there are 0 passes that are extremely low. Hydramatics says, I once got a rank 100 pass on Selene Extreme by doing the absolute most on Sage. I had auto attacks on for the 40 damage, as well as using Nebma on the orbs phase for just a bit more damage. It eked me out just enough to get a 100. Yeah, that makes sense. And if you got a few crits on that Nebma, that's very nice. Exactly, Ilana. The key problem with could you beat the boss with all on 0 passes is because the 0 passes are extremely likely to have been accompanied by people with higher passes than that. So by removing other players from being able to carry makes it really hard to do that. You could probably see how little you have to do to like what the bare minimum from the party is, but that, I feel like that would already itself be a test in how do you play Limbo with passes. Like, any hardcore gamers bored, try and do a Savage boss while also having to challenge yourself to specifically hit under a specific number pass. And then like GeoGuessr style, the closer you hit to the pass number, the better score you get. Anyway, we had some longer duties this time around, and we also had more discussions. So we only got 11 when I was hoping for 15, but I guess it'll be fine. We got see 1, 2, 3 normal raids, and 1 max level dungeon. And 1, 2... Oh, wait. Yep, sorry. 1, 2... 2 trials. 1, 2, 3 high, quote-unquote, high-level dungeons. 1 extreme and 1 MSQ. Pretty nice. Although finishing on an MSQ is always a bit awkward. Now, I think we will wrap it up from here. So, if you'd like to be part of the Discord community server, there's a link right there in the chat. There you'll find the weekly schedule where you can see what else is coming up in the coming days. They're usually updated Sunday or Monday. You'll also find the announcement room with links to videos and streams when I put them out. And if you grab the reminder roll in the roll assignment room, you get a notification whenever I put them out. Also, the next run around 15 minutes before stream starts. You can catch it right when we go live. And if you'd like to support the channel even more directly, you can like over on the YouTube side of things. You can follow, subscribe, super chat, become a member, cheer, all that goodness. If you don't like any of that, there's also the Ko-Fi link. I will post it right there in the chat. It all helps support me and the channel directly, so I can focus on doing stuff like this with all of you without having to worry about algorithms and whatnot. So thank you so much for the support. But that'll be it from me tonight. Let's carry the raid over and see if we can find some other cool people. Some cool people. Some cool people. Do we know anyone? A lot of people I don't know. Mioni? I'm not seeing her. Is she not, Is she not on 14? I am seeing the others. Reggie's doing some on Reels in a bit, I think. That could be fun. We're doing Alliance raid first. I don't know. It probably helps that if I remember to set it up so I could more easily see. I'll check that out when I'm not live. Let's check out Reggie. He's having some fun with Windurst, and it says here that doing on Reels with community later. So that could be fun to see. But with that said, that'll be it from me tonight. Good night, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where in the world, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye-bye!